All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend and a great day. So let's jump into it. We'll go over the Microsoft thing here in a second. Hopefully, I don't forget it. But we'll just go over that when I usually do all the single stock stuff because I typically don't have too much to talk about with that particular segment. So that'll be perfect. All right, so let's go over everything. EWG Germany is starting to work again, and wow, look at that close. Nice. So yeah, still in these calls. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Let's see, what was this? Was this 2 weeks of consolidation in here? 1, 2, yeah. So cool. That's good. I don't know. Let's see where the price target is gonna be. We'll all do this together. Wow. So somewhere around the 42 level. Okay, so that's that. Now those are July 18 is the expiration. May, June, July, so about 2 months out. $39 strike price. I paid $235. Those are currently $285. So those are working out nicely now. I didn't really get a chance to add to these. Although, when was I making this video? Friday. I thought, you know what, this actually does look pretty good right in here, this sort of box. But whatever, such is life with this current market. Things are ripping and rocking and rolling. So, respecting the 9-day moving average, and it has been for a while. This looks fantastic. All right, there's that. Moving on to another ripper, utilities. Look at this, man. Really nice. How's this looking after hours? It's whatever. See, I don't know. Is this kind of, gonna wait for a breakout? I don't know. So, anyways, XLU September 19 is the expiration. So these are nice long dated calls. $82 strike price. I paid $248. Those are currently $362. And those are working out fantastically. This is awesome. I mean, if this does in fact break out, this could go for a long ways. This is a good and proper base, sort of. Yeah, wow. So, let's see this on a weekly chart. Yeah, you think on a daily chart this looks very kind of stretched, and it is. The stochastic here is not supposed to be used as a sell signal, and so I always try and remind myself not to use it as a sell signal. Still looking good. Those are rocking. Now, moving on to GTX. Still equity position 1083. I don't know what to talk about in here. I have no clue. This looks great. Whatever. We'll hold this for a long time. Moving on. MicroStrategy. Booyah. I added to this today. And I think I added at like 403-ish. 403, 45, somewhere in this area. And this MicroStrategy is rocking and rolling. You have some pretty big heavy hitters that are shorting MicroStrategy, so you love to see that. Definitely like being on the opposite end of that. So I added to that today, and that brings the average cost basis to $354-ish. And now we can just jump right on it. So that's it. Now let's just jump right on into everything that we typically always do. I didn't close out any positions today or anything. So since we're here on MicroStrategy, let's look at Bitcoin. And again, it's really hard to start a position here. Um, Although people certainly are. And yeah, look at this close in IBIT. Yeah, there is some aggressive call buying going on in IBIT. Very aggressive. Um, so, yeah, take that for what you will. Very aggressive. And gosh, on a monthly chart, this just looks incredible. So yeah, very happy with it. Still would like to add some more to MicroStrategy, and I may, but yeah, this thing is working good, looks good, and so that's that. Now let's go over indexes. Amazing rebound. I'm not terribly surprised. I mean, look at this morning, right? Opens way down and then just goes straight up. So yeah, this looks great. I don't exactly know what more there is to talk about in here. Is there anything to play for like just one day for tomorrow? I don't know. There is this gap down here to fill, and this will get filled. So just be on your toes for that. All right, Dow Jones looks really good. Look at this. This trend line here is broken, so awesome. And, oh, crap. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, Dow Jones looks good. Yeah, I mean, all these indexes are going to look good. I don't have any more color to add from the previous week's video on indexes, other than look out for the bond market. But see, Russell's broken this trend line. So sweet. All right, moving on over. Before I forget, let's look at bonds here, and really fantastic rebound. Oh, that's so good to see. Yeah, if bonds can start rocking and rolling, that would fuel this market for a while. Let's look at high yield debt, and this looks good too. Okay. All right, so now let's go over to single stocks here, and I don't think this video is going to be too terribly long, but yeah, Microsoft up 1% today. It's nearing all-time highs, and so Microsoft is partnered with Grok, and I mean, what a fantastic move by Satya. That's just insane. I mean, it's so good to see. If you guys are not super bullish on Microsoft after the Grok and Azure partnership, then nothing would get you guys excited about Microsoft. That is fantastic. No matter what anybody's opinion is on any one person, individually, and I know people get all emotional and, make an opinion based upon emotions. But the good thing with, investing, and lots of areas in life too, but the good thing with investing and stock trading is you've come to you learn that your emotions, or an opinion really doesn't mean anything. So let's just look at it from the perspective of Grok being the best AI platform that there is. And so, and here's something kind of interesting and funny, where companies are always trying to improve, right? This is nothing new. They're trying to improve, so they look at competitors, how they perform. So Microsoft, has been trying to improve Copilot, and so they look at various competitors and whatever. Well, everybody compares it to Grok. So it's interesting how after maybe a full month, maybe of this or so, I would say, of people really heavily comparing Copilot to Grok internally. Satya just comes out and partners with Grok for Azure. So, I mean, this is fantastic news. Satya, one of the greatest CEOs of all time, and just a fantastic move. Now, with all that being said, what are you gonna add? I don't know. It depends on your time horizon. If your time horizon is years, then yeah, sure, who cares? But yeah, wow, look at this. This has a long ways to go. You guys, things can get pretty crazy in stocks, and there's still so many people bearish. People are still hung up on this tariff crap. Which was always sort of silly to me because, what is somebody going to do? Just let an entire economy collapse? Like, no. So, anyways, lots of people still very bearish. And, short term, who knows? We'll see. I'm not long lots of things. I've closed out most of the positions. But am I bearish? Not in the least. So Nvidia, I don't know. Tesla, it's a really good sign for the stock market where it's like Nvidia, nobody even cares about Nvidia. No one talks about it. It's not even a thing anymore. People have moved on to other things. So Apple, Apple's lagging. Tim Cook and the Trumpsters have got a little beef going or something. I don't know exactly. I don't really care. I don't know and I don't care. But so SMCI, whatever. Let's look at Netflix. How's Netflix doing these days? Continues to go straight up in the air, and I missed this and whatever. I went after Take Two, and whoa, this is pretty interesting. And very interesting. And close this out for break even, and that's what happens, right? It's between Netflix and Take Two. And so, whatever. All right, Netflix. Oh, Google. Let's see how Google's performing. It's underperforming now. It's really interesting, right? But this is clearly a bottoming pattern. So while this is below the 200-day moving average and against my rules for buying, this is forming a bottoming pattern. So if you guys don't care about the 200-day moving average, then this looks pretty good from a bottoming standpoint. But for me, I want to go after this. Again, there's, Jim Ropel always says, why would you go after this when there's so much better merchandise out there, like Microsoft, for example. So Google performs well, Microsoft will perform well. And, Microsoft's almost about to make, new all-time highs, and Google is very far off. So that just shows you where, the money is going towards. And that's all you need to do for your fundamental analysis. People tend to overcomplicate things, and it's not the best thing to do, at least for me. It's not the best thing to do for me. So let's see, what other single stocks can we go over? Oh, you know what, let's go over Robinhood. I saw a really, really good research paper done on Robinhood, and there is a really high likelihood that Robinhood could be fantastic for the years to come. And now I'm not going to start a position here, but Robinhood, wow. I mean, if you look at a bunch of stuff on a monthly chart, I mean, we are getting ready to be in full takeoff, see you later mode. in equities. Okay, so let's go back over here to prison stocks. Geo. Oh, phooey. Yeah, that one's now it's off the list. Let's look at Rivian. And wow, this is very, very interesting. Wow, very interesting. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. Very interesting. I mean, if this can sort of come out of here and like really get over 20, then this would be sort of a good one to go after. 20, then you got like 26. That's the next price target, which is a huge move. And then from there, you would think, 40-ish, 38. So yeah, there's plenty of room for Rivian as well. Let's look at Broadcom. See how Broadcom's doing. Wow, yeah. Broadcom. What else do we have here? Let's look at CrowdStrike. Let's look at oh my gosh, yeah. I see you guys. These are just about to make new all-time highs. Yeah, see, people are so strange, right? You get people all bearish, like for why, how, don't try and overthink anything or try and be smart or try and be a hero. That is not what stock trading is about. It's not about that at all. It's about boring, simple, easy. Hey, money's going into CrowdStrike. Okay, I guess I'll go into CrowdStrike as well, right? Netflix, Microsoft, right? There's no need to go against the trend. There are certain times where we do go against the trend, but rarely, very, very rarely will we do that. It's just not a winning strategy. It's not. So I just, not to say it can't be, but just, again, everything is just probabilities, right? That's all it is. Let's look at Palantir. Oh, shoot. And you guys, I also, in JP Morgan's private client research papers that they send out, they were saying that the cost of AI is down dramatically. I think they said 80 to 90%, which they would know more than I would, so we'll go with that. I don't know if it's exactly that number, but, or from when they were referencing this and making a comparison. But if that is the case, then look for stocks like Palantir, Microsoft, Google, Meta. Oh, shoot, we keep forgetting about Meta. Good old Mark Zuckerberg. Wow, yeah, see, this looks really good to perform better than what people actually are even expecting. And then in that same paper that JP Morgan sent out, they're pretty bullish on AI and AI stocks. So yeah. All right, now let's go over Shake Shack. And, Shake Shack's still near and dear to my heart. Be really excited to go after this one again. I've caught this a couple times really good, but left a lot on the table too, so I got it. I always come back to that one. CCJ looks pretty good as well. Yeah, gosh, let's look at Caterpillar. Not so good. Train. Wow, see, Train's making new all-time highs. And people are bearish about the economy. Again, like, hey, you who knows? The economy could completely crash, and that's fine, right? But you would be going against, essentially all the money in the world, right? Where these people, these institutions spend, I don't know how much money researching and figuring this stuff out to not be wrong. And look, I mean, Train is making new all-time highs. So again, there isn't anything to try. Wow. See, look at all these on a monthly chart. This is insane. I have no idea how I've missed all this on a monthly chart. Just terrible. What a horrible rookie mistake. How have I missed this when on a monthly chart? I mean, if you see this on a monthly chart, this is like buying hand over fist instead of how I've been poking and prodding at everything for a couple of weeks, which is fine. You know, I've done really well last couple of weeks, but certainly not like if I really was paying attention on a monthly chart. My goodness, man, terrible. Look at this too on a monthly chart. Look at Coinbase. You think Coinbase can't continue rocketing higher? This is crazy. There's lots to go after. I would love for things to just chill or go down, you know. There's so much out there to go after. It's just hard for me right now because the risk to reward is all messed up. And it doesn't fit my style, you know, so I have to follow the rules that I make, and you know, I cannot deviate from them. It's usually when I deviate from rules will I get blasted. You know, markets have an interesting way of humbling people, and they certainly have a way of humbling me as well. So we'll stick to the rules, stick to the game plan. Let's go over now to Argentina since we saw Germany. And look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. I mean, or 3 days. Yeah. All right, let's go over to Japan. Let's see how our buddies over there in Japan are doing. It's looking like it's trying to really come out of there. All right, let's go over to Mexico, and awesome. Let's go over to Malaysia. Since I always think EWM is Mexico, and it's always like Malaysia. I'm like, what the heck, Malaysia? So that looks good too. Spotify. Let's see Spotify making new all-time highs. I don't understand. Look at this. Why be bearish? I don't know. You know, sure, you can come up with a fantastic logical argument, and I would not disagree at being bearish, you know. I heard a great phrase of, you know, successful traders have strong opinions held loosely. So I can be proved wrong and don't care at all. Again, trading is not about being, you know, right or wrong. It's about having a strategy and a style where in the long run the probability works out in your favor, and you go after what your strategy is and don't care about being right or wrong. So, yeah. eBay. Look at eBay. Very jagged and funky in there. That's too bad. I like trading eBay. Yeah, see Roblox. Look at this. I mean, you guys see, I think, what was it in here where I was like, yeah, I want to be going after this here, right? And then, look at it. I mean, it's just massive, right? This has respected the 9-day moving average for a long, long time. Have no fear, there will be a fantastic pullback that we will definitely be going after. But again, look at this on a monthly chart. You guys just look at everything on a monthly chart and be like, why am I bearish? This is crazy. This is textbook. I mean, look at this. Massive base pulls back to where this base breaks out from, where you'd want to see, and closes at the dead high of the month. You know? I mean, that is an insanely bullish chart if I've ever seen one. So, yeah. Although this week, there's so much going on this week, I really don't want to do anything. So, all right. There's that. Let's go over to corn and blah. Let's look at gold. I think gold looks like pretty good, actually. Oh, man. It's barely holding on. If this can come back and get back over, that would be nice. Silver's trying to roll over. Let's look at oil. I think oil had a decent day. Yeah, it did. It did. I just still want to go after this here, although, I don't know. Do I think this looks bad? Like, not really. Maybe, sort of, kind of. All right, copper. Then we'll go over to China and then call it a night. Time is at 6. And China looks pretty good. Let's look at Uber. How's Uber doing these days? Oh, is this all-time highs? OMG, look at this base. What the heck? This is an entire year's base in Uber. Whoa. Although it's pretty nutso. It's quite the base. But if you look at it on a monthly chart, it doesn't look that crazy. And wow. There's lots of fantastic stuff going on. My goodness. Wow. Yeah. Let's look at Costco. Oh, shoot. And then we got to go over sectors and then call it a night. Costco. Whatever. Let's see how Walmart's doing after their whole thing with earnings and all this. Yeah, I mean, they're completely fine. Wow, look at that close. So much demand for equities. All right. Let's go real estate. And cool. This could turn back and get firing. SBI, whatever, I don't know. Healthcare, blah, 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 I don't know. Let's look at United Health. Yeah, cool. Yeah, huge bounce, just as you would expect. United Health. All right, let's go to financials here. And awesome. Again, we're waiting. And let's look at energy sector. Yeah, that's a no-go for me. And that's it, you guys. So we will catch you all tomorrow, I believe. And I hope everyone has an amazing night. And we will see you later.